Chapter 10, Minitab Express. Use two variables in a textbook dataset to create your own hardship index similar to the one calculated in example 10.3. Use variables different from the ones used in this example and also in the Chapter 10 Minitab Express handout. Each variable must be standardized before they can be combined into an index. Explain your standardization process. Show details of the calculation for each variable for one county. I will create an index for economic status using Social Security beneficiaries located in column C12 and percent of adults with a college degree. We can investigate the relationship initially using a scatter plot. Graph, scatter, simple, and I will select college degree as Y, which is in C76. And Social Security beneficiaries, which is in C12, and then just OK. And let's go ahead and go home, and let's just look at the output for right now. And there's my scatter plot, and I see for the as the percent of adults with a college degree increases, the number of Social Security beneficiaries also increases. For the college degree variable, the largest need will occur in the counties with the low values. For Social Security beneficiaries, the highest need will occur in counties with high values. To standardize these two variables, we need the min and the max. Use statistics, describe, descriptive statistics. I'm going to select data in more than one column. I've got two columns, so I need C12 and I need C76. And all I really need right now are the mins and the maxes, so I can go over here to the statistics, and I'm only going to show the mins and the max because that's really all I need in order to do my standardization. And hit OK. And so here for the Social Security beneficiaries, here's my minimum 840, here's my maximum, and for college degree the minimum was 8.7 as a percent and the maximum was 55.2. Now I'm going to skip over to the actual handout that you have to show you the calculations for this. So there's the information that we just got. Now remember, the formula for standardizing is given here from your textbook. So the standardized variable for each county is going to be the Y value for that particular measure minus, and in the numerator here, the value of Y indicating the least need. So again, you need to think about, are we going to use the min or the max for that county? And then you're going to divide by the difference between the county with the value for the greatest need minus the county for the least need. Now again, for Social Security beneficiaries, we know that the larger percent will indicate more need, so Y sub A, which is the least need, is going to be the 840, the minimum, and the maximum is going to be the 122,395. So my formula is going to become right down here, and I simplified the denominator a little bit by doing the subtraction. This is going to be my standardization formula right here. Alright, and we're going to use that formula to create the values for each county in a new column. So in Minitab, what you're going to do is go to Data, and you're going to click on the Formula option right here, and this formula window will open up. And you're going to go ahead and type in the formula that we just showed you right here. And for your variables, again, you're going to need to figure out what's going to be your actual formula depending on whether large values indicate more need or small values. And in my particular case, it was going to be C12, which is Social Security beneficiaries, minus the minimum, divided by the difference between the max and the min. And again, if I look here on the handout, you can see the formula. And I've already done the calculations, so if I go back over here, and what this formula function will do, it will put it in the last blank column in your data set. So here's the formula I typed in. And I used the round function. Let me show you that. Where to get that? That's under functions right here. And if you go down, you'll see round, and you click on it and just say insert. And what it allows you to do is tell it to insert the calculated value right here to this many decimal places. And I don't want any decimals, I want whole numbers on my calculations, so I put in a 0 here. And then right here I typed in the formula. And then if I go ahead and look at my data for this, so let's go data on the bottom, and I scroll all the way over. And again, I told you it's going to put it in the last, you can't pick the column, it's going to put it in the last blank column. And I went ahead and I labeled this as Social Security Standardized. So I see that County 1 ranks there at 26. And if you scroll down, you can find the county with the lowest ranking, which here in this case was County 15. And again, I can go back over to the county identifiers and find out what county that is. Happens to be Camden County. And again, you can go down and look for the county with the highest need, which is going to have a value of 100 or darn close to 100, and so forth. And the same thing I did for, let's go back and look at the college degrees. And again, in my case, the county with the highest number of Social Security beneficiaries should have a value of 100. And in my case, that was Mecklenburg, and I want to check and make sure that that got a value of 100, and it did. And the county with the lowest was 0, got a value of 0, and that was Tyrell. And there was one additional county, Hyde, that also has a value of 0 due to its low number and the rounding purpose. So for the college degree here, identify the counties with the greatest need, and those are going to be the lower values. So again, I'm going to go ahead and do my calculation here. And so the lowest need counties here are going to be the counties with the largest percent of people with the college degree. So my formula is going to change a little bit. Here I'm going to subtract the larger, the max, and then in the denominator I'm taking the min minus the max. And what happens here is the numerator becomes a negative value, and the denominator also does, so I end up with a positive value for my calculation. And again, in Minitab, I'm going to go ahead and type that in. And if I go back to Minitab, and again, I've already done this, here's the formula I put in. C76 was the percent of adults with a college degree. Subtract the value showing the lowest need, which was 55.2. Divide by the difference between the min and the max, and in this case, min minus max is going to be a negative value. I use the round function again with 0 decimals. And again, if I go ahead and I scroll over, and in my case, I put them in the last column here, which in this data worksheet actually happened to be column C82. And again, I notice there's my values. And again, you want to go ahead and check and make sure the county with the lowest percent of adults with a college degree has a value of 100, which happens to be Northampton County, and the county with the highest percent of adults with a college degree has a value of 0, and in my case that happens to be Orange. Now remember, you're going to be using different variables, so you're going to have different counties pop up here. The second question in this homework is, how are you going to combine the variables to create the index? You can average them, you can add them. It's up to you what you do. In my data set, I chose to go ahead and average them. And so again, I put a formula in. Again, I went to Data, Formula, and I've already done this. I put that formula in the last column here, and I just averaged C81 and C82. You could also just add them together. Again, that's up to you what you want to do. And then the last part of the homework assignment here is going to be to find out the 3 counties with the greatest hardship. So you're going to use that index that you just created and identify the 3 counties with the greatest hardship. In other words, the counties with the largest values, 3 counties, and then the 3 counties with the smallest values, the least hardship. Identify what those counties are, and then you want to do a little table here that looks at the unemployment rate, and the instructions that ask you to look at the unemployment rate and the population density. And take a look at these values and then talk about what you see. Are there differences between the counties that have the highest index and the counties with the lowest index?